Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Learning A to Z Session 6, which is recommended for grades 2 and 3. And this is part of your Prosper ISD 2016 Spring Webinar Series. And today we're going to be covering the key reading skills area of reading A to Z, and we'll be looking specifically at comprehension skill packs, and we will also look at visual devices. We are looking here at the Reading A to Z homepage, and as you can see, I have logged in, and that's what you will need to do as well. All right, and as we look at this home page, we'll notice that we have the Resources tab, and when we mouse over that, it opens up these wonderful drawers of a plethora of different types of resources that are available to you just through the click of a mouse. All right, today our goal is to look at the second drawer here called Key Reading Skills. And you will notice that there are a variety of areas that are housed here in the Key Reading Skills area. And the one that we're going to focus on today is the comprehension area. And within that comprehension piece, we're going to specifically be looking at the comprehension skill packs, and we're also going to look at our visual devices. All right, comprehension, as we know, this is where we want our students to be able to not only put into purpose their ability to read with fluency and automaticity, but this is when we are wanting them to read with a purpose and also with that wonderful understanding. And by using our comprehension resources, it's going to, in combination with many of the resources, it's going to help your students learn to make those connections, organize their thinking, cite evidence, as well as discuss the text effectively, and also to interpret visual information. All right, you're going to have your students through these resources, they're going to be practicing various skills that are going to lead them to that deeper comprehension of increasingly complex text. All right, we're going to move directly into that comprehension area, and as I said, we're going to be looking specifically at the comprehension skill packs. All right, note that also you will have the ability to click on the blue comprehension segment, and this will open up all of those different areas that are available to you. And the ones, as I said previously, we're going to look at the skill packs, and we're also going to look at the visual devices. But in this, at the beginning where it says more about comprehension, this is always a wonderful place for you to begin anytime that you are looking at a resource that you might not have utilized in the Reading A to Z site so far, because it will always give you some direction in why you would want to use these comprehension resources, and also some suggestions on how to use them. And then other comprehension resources that are available, and you can see that there are hot links within this area that would take you to those. It also gives you a variety of reading strategies that you might want to employ, and then your word attack strategies as well. All right, so in that more about link, you will always find something that may give you some deeper insight in how you want to use some of these resources. Well, we're going to move right in here to our comprehension skill packs. And when we open this up, you'll see that right away you have a specific link, a more about link for those comprehension skill packs. You also have a tips video that is available for you. And these videos are usually quite concise and short in length, so you might want to take the time to listen to that. But when we go to our more about comprehension skill packs link, we open it up with that why and the how. All right, and so that's the area that you always want to utilize. First grade all the way through fifth. Today our webinar is geared toward our second and third grade teachers, and you can see that in second grade there are 13 separate comprehension skills that you're going to receive a teacher's lesson plan on it. You will also have a model passage, and you will also have a practice passage. And you will have all of these different resources available to you in printable format as well as projectable format. The teacher's lesson plan, of course, is not in projectable format. Well, let's just take a look here at analyzing character for the second grade level, and we will open up that lesson plan so that you can see what this entails. All right, when we open it up, we see it tells you that this is a grade 2 lesson on analyzing character, and it's giving you your skill objective right here at the top. And then it will walk you through very concisely what you are going to do. It actually gives you some verbiage that you can use if you wish in the blue font, and some suggestions on what you might want to say, and then the application of the skill within context. And it tells you that the model projectable, that's what you're going to be using at that time, and it's entitled Dylan Hits a Homer. And it walks you right through using those projectables. It may be that you have printed it out for your students. You can do it in either way. And you can also use the practice as a reproducible, or you can also use it as a projectable. All right, and then you have a section here on write and share, and then some wonderful extensions to the lesson. Oh. All right, hold on just a second. All right, you also have some extensions to this lesson, and it gives you those links to specific graphic organizers that will support analyzing a character, and also leveled books that will work on that skill as well. And if you wanted to just immediately go to the graphic organizers, you would click here. You have your primary that would hit your second grade teachers, and then your intermediate for your third grade. And so you have a variety of different types of graphic organizers that you could utilize. And you see that as you scroll down through these different types of graphic organizers, that you have a great number of pieces that you could utilize with this particular lesson. And the same thing in your primary area, and you would be able to find a graphic organizer that would support you in that particular area. Okay. All right, so these are some wonderful resources that will give you some depth of support. All right, this is what the practice passage looks like. Dylan Hits a Homer. And you can see that in projectable format, you would actually be able to place that up on the screen for your students. You could use your framing tool to bring it to a larger size for them to be able to read this together. And you could do it paragraph by paragraph, or possibly the entire segment there. All you have to do is create that box that will house that text, and then hit the little yellow square in the upper left-hand corner, and it will bring it up nice and large on your smart board, your Promethean board, your Mimeo board, or your LCD projector that you are using for projection. And this way you will be able to have the students read this along with you in choral reading, or you might want to do it as echo reading or as closed reading. But it does give you that opportunity to bring it up nice and big. Okay? And then as you turn the page, you will see that as in the course, this is going to be in your lesson plan that will walk you through and allow you to see how you have utilized, and you will have used your tools, such as the pen tool that we see was used down here. And that pen tool is something that you will get used to using. All right, your highlighter is over here, and you can see that the yellow highlighter was chosen to highlight specifics as you moved through this practice passage in guidance by your lesson plan. Then after using your model passage, you will either run off a copy of the practice passage for the students, or once again, you could use it in projectable format. Okay, so you have that available. And you know that you've got 13 different comprehension skills that you will have these lesson plans as well as the model and the practice passage for. All right, for third grade, you will note that it jumps up 3. Now in third grade, you're going to have an additional 3 comprehension skill packs that you will have the opportunity to utilize. And you notice that you have author's point of view for quite some other types of things: entertain, inform, persuade. So that's most likely where the additional 3 came from. All right, and it walks through the same, your lesson plan and then the model and the practice passage as well. And you do have that wonderful little video, so don't forget about that. All right, the next area that we're going to explore in our key reading skills is the area here of resources for your visual devices. And as we bring that up, you will note in the opening paragraph here about visual devices that it's telling you, that our students need to be made aware of a variety of types of ways that they can interpret information, because we know that in our complex world, they're going to come across all of these different types of visual devices that they're going to have to be able to interpret them to gain the information from them. And you will also note that this is broken into different grade level spans, and the one that we're going to look at today is our grades 2 and 3. And also, don't forget about your More About link on the visual devices. Always take an opportunity to take a look at that before you get started. But as we look at these wonderful visual devices, you're going to note that within each area, once again, that teacher lesson plan is going to be laid out for you. So if we were looking at, and let's go down and just choose something here, something that we know that we see a lot of are the pie graph. All right, so let's just open up that teacher lesson plan on the pie graph, and we'll take a look at what we see. All right, it's going to, of course, tell you exactly what it is that you're doing, the grade level that you're on. This happens to be a 2-page lesson plan. It gives you your objective, and it also gives you all of the areas that you will take care of: introducing the graph, teaching what it means, why it would be used, and it's showing you here that you would want to use projectable 1. All right, as you move down through this, you will see that in step 2, this is going to be that guided practice. So it's going to be that old familiar I do, we do, and then the you do. And you're going to be using your second projectable in this piece. And then as you move down into that summarization area, you're going to have the students, give back to you and help you to make sure that they do understand what it is that they're working on and what the goal is. And then they're going to do the part where they actually apply that skill. And this is where you will have run off the pie chart for them. All right, in that PDF format. Of course, you also have that opportunity to bring it up in projectable as well. And then, as always, there will be a suggestion for ways for you to have the students extend what they have learned in this lesson. And it will give you some suggestions on things that you might want to have them do, or it might be a class project that you do. All right, so that's what your lesson plan looks like. All right, in the lesson, we saw that it was telling you that you wanted to use each one of these projectables at a different time. So let's just take a look at projectable 1, and we'll see that what it is talking about here, it gives you the title of what it is that they have created this graph from the data that they collected. In this particular one, as you can see, it's in a teacher's class, the favorite kinds of music. And they set up a beautiful key for you to be able to see what types of music it was, and then the number of students that preferred those different types. All right, then as we move back, we see that second projectable that we'll take a look at, and let me get here in our grades 2 and 3, it popped me back past that. All right, when we look at that second projectable, it's going to be blank. Okay, and so this is an opportunity for your class, or it may be that you're handing out the ideas for them to create as a class a new pie graph. All right, so you could use your text tool and come in, and maybe now you might be offering the opportunity for them to tell what is your favorite food. Okay, so you would type in there. All right, and then in your key area, you would choose your different colors that you might want to use, and we'll use purple in this area. All right, and we would entitle it. All right, so maybe it's pizza. All right, and in order to color in the dot that we did before, we would come up and get our highlighter and choose purple, and we could color that dot in purple. All right, so you see where I'm going with this, that you have the opportunity to create with your text tool and bring it in so that as a class, and this is so much more fun, and it's also quite easy for you because you've got it up on that projectable board. All right, and so maybe the next item that they might like would be hot dogs. All right, and then you would choose your highlighter, blue, and come right in here. All right, well then as you gathered your data and you began to see what amount was used, then you would use your colors to color in that portion of the graph, okay, that had people liking hot dogs. And maybe the opportunity here, you can also take your text tool and choose something that is a brighter color, obviously, create the smallest box that you could come up with, place it in here, and then maybe it was a total of 6. Okay, so that is what you would do in order to create that pie graph using your projectable. All right, and it is a fun way to do that. Then the final piece would be that you had run off a blank pie chart for your students, and I'm going to bring it up in projectable even though you would have handed it out to them in paper form. All right, and when you bring that up, you'll see that it looks exactly like the one that we had in the previous example where we did it together, okay, and created one on our projectable screen. And it might be that you want to keep that one up on the projectable screen for them to look back at if they needed that kind of scaffolding. But this is what they would receive, and then they would come up the title, or maybe you have offered them several choices, and they would be placing that in there, gathering the different information for the key and the colors that they're going to use for their graph, and then they would gather their data and begin to create that graph nice and brightly colored. Okay, so this gives just a different look at how visual devices can be utilized in the classroom, and you have, of course, a great variety of the different types of graphs. We know that this is one that has come to the forefront recently, reading food labels and how to interpret that. Since this is small, you would want to use that wonderful show framing tool so that you could increase the size and then make that nice and large, so it would make it easy for you to discuss with your students as well. So these tools are going to come in quite handy for you. You always have your little stamp where you can tell them that they are your star students, and once you release this, then you would actually be able to place a star there. You have a variety of tools that you can use here for stamps. You know, I want everybody to look right here. All right, how many total carbohydrates are there? There's just a variety of ways that you can do that. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed our look at the comprehension skill packs and also our visual devices, and that these will be resources that you will soon be using in your classroom with your students. Thank you for attending.